Hey guys, this is my first time doing a voiceover, so don't at me. And don't mind the band-aid on my finger. I was making beef stew earlier, and I cut myself with a butter knife. We're not going to talk about it, we're also not going to paint that finger. Today I'm going to be doing some Adventure Time nail art from a stamping plate that I got off of nailartisan.uk. I'll put every link to the products I use in the description below, unless it's something that I got from a nail supply store near my house. I am a licensed professional, and there is some stuff that I bought at a professionals only store, so I'm sorry about that stuff. But I'm starting with the Peely base coat from Holo Company, made by Simply Nailogical, aka Christine with no H. Because I'm filming a lot of these videos today, I'm going to be having my wisdom teeth out tomorrow, so I want to pre-record a few things. And I'm going to need to take off a lot of nail polish throughout the rest of my day today, so I don't want to use acetone every time. So I am using the Peely base. If you plan on wearing this for a long time, I wouldn't use Peely base. I would use just a regular base coat, or even the long-lasting base coat from Holo Taco is really good too, especially if you want your nail art to last. And I'm just painting these on my 4 nails that aren't covered in a band-aid, and letting it dry for a little bit. I gotta work on my timing. Unfortunately, as you'll see in the next clip, I didn't let it dry long enough. So as I was applying the Not So Milky White from Holo Taco, or Not Milky White, did I say that right? Not Milky White. Ooh, added a word. As I was applying this, it did stretch and goo a little because the base coat was still a little wet underneath. I was being impatient. It's also a very thick white formula. That's why it's not milky. It's because it's thick. It's not see-through. It's very thick. Opaque. Not doing great. Okay. First time singing, not great. First time speaking on the internet, not great. We're just gonna roll with it. So I'm applying one thin coat of this and letting it dry. Don't worry about all the stuff on my cuticles. I know it's there. We're gonna clean it up in a little bit.
Pretty dress.
Yeah, it reminded me of Mom. I got it at a thrift shop. No.
Oh, no, it's okay.
No, Dad, it's not. It's not even close to okay. I don't think I could do this.
Well, I'm gonna have to listen to this before I post it because they're watching Zootopia downstairs, and I don't know if you guys can hear it too. I have my headphones in using that mic so that hopefully you're not picking up the stuff downstairs, and my bedroom door is closed, but who knows. Not like I can get demonetized on a video that's not monetized anyways, but we don't want anything taken down for copyright infringement. So we've let the first coat dry for a little bit longer this time. I got caught up watching a TV show. Don't mind me. And we're going in and applying a second coat. Now, in between the coats, I did put a little bit of acetone in my polish. I know you're not supposed to do that, but it's just very thick, and I'm used to working with gel polishes and stamping polishes, which are very thin, so it was just not behaving the way that I'm used to, and I wanted to thin it out a little bit, and all I have available is acetone. And I can't go out and buy nail polish thinner right now because of social distancing. I live in a place that's heavily enacted that. Most of our businesses are closed, and you are extremely urged to stay in your home unless it's an absolute necessity, and I don't consider this an absolute necessity. So I'm just applying a second thin coat, and that'll make the color look more even. It makes it perform its best. Even the Holo Taco channel on YouTube will tell you 2 coats will make it perform best. 2 thin coats is better than 1 thick coat. I am taking this cleanup brush, which is actually my polygel brush, but I don't like polygel anymore, so I don't use it for anything but cleanup. Dipping it in a little bit of 100% acetone and cleaning up around the edges of my nails. This goes on for a little bit longer than I usually take to clean up my nails because I'm not used to staying in frame. A lot of the nail art I do is at school. I take pictures of it and then I post it to Instagram, but I've had a few people say, hey, how'd you do that? So I'm making a few videos to show you, hey, how I did that. It's really not hard. A few things that I do are freehand. A lot of it is some stamping plate stuff that I freehand color in. But Nail Artists in UK have a lot of great stamping plates for a lot of different kinds of people. The first one that I'm doing is the Jake stamper. So it's Jake the dog from Adventure Time. You apply the stamping polish and wipe away any extra with the scraper that should be provided with most stamping plates that you order. I don't remember if my Nail Artisan kit came with stamping plate scrapers. I think it just came with the plates, but I also have like 8 of them from different Maniology sends one with their stamping kits. Born Pretty sends them with their stamping kits. I am using these tiny nail art brushes that I got off of Amazon.com. My stamper is also from Maniology. I like their brand. I like the amount of colors they have in stamping polishes. And they do send out great little kits that come in this cute little box with a little gift in it. I wasn't sure what the gift was. It was like a little pineapple scented pineapple thing that was kind of soft and individually wrapped. And I put it in my mouth because I'm not an intelligent adult. And I wanted to see if it tasted like anything, and it tasted like pineapple, but I immediately spit it out because I thought to myself, oh my god, I just put a random thing in my mouth and I have no idea what it is. So, you know, it could have been anything. But we're just taking some yellow from D&D. I did buy that from the nail supply store. It is a company that is sold to professionals for nail salon use only. But any yellow will do for Jake that matches, obviously, Jake's color. And just filling in where he would be yellow in the cartoon. I clean my brushes by dipping them in a little dapping dish full of acetone when I'm done with them, just to get the excess polish off. You don't want it drying on there. It will ruin your brushes. Acetone ruins your brushes too, but I mean, it can't be helped. A dapping dish, by the way, is the little glass dish that you see nail people use with like doing acrylic nails that they put the monomer liquid in. I have several. I use them for different things. I use them for mixing acetone and polishes, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, you can use them for pretty much anything. They're just little glass dishes. I'm now taking the Not Milky White again and filling in the highlights in Jake's eyes where they would normally be filled out. And he looks really good when I flip it over. However, when I went to transfer him to my nail, he smushed. I put too much yellow on. I had to try and get his nose to stick. I ended up in between shots taking another stencil of his outline from the stamping plate and putting it over him, and it didn't turn out great anyways, so I just moved on. This next one I'm doing is a little freehand for my pinky because my pinky nails are very small. They won't fit most stamps that come on stamping plates unless it's a design one that doesn't really matter how much space you give it. Those will fit, but my pinky is very small and very thin. So I figured in Adventure Time they live in the Candy Kingdom, and I would do a little tiny piece of candy. So I'm just taking my black stamping polish and a long, thin nail art brush. I like the longer ones because you can get a finer line with them. And what I'm doing there with the nail polish on the palette is brushing it downwards, so I pick up as little as possible but get the best coverage as possible to make my thinnest, neatest lines that I can make.
I still got the moves. Zoidberg, lower the door another inch.
It sort of pushes the bristles of the brush back together into the point that they originally come in, so that it stays nice and sharp and pointy for me to make those thin, tiny, teeny lines. Sorry about the camera flipping all over the place too. I started this, I don't know, a hamburger style? Is that the long landscape? I am an adult. And between clips, my camera would shut on my phone. And I didn't realize that when I was reopening the camera, it was going back to portrait. So I'm sorry. You gotta flip your phone all around kinds of crazy to watch this. This is my bad. Yeah, work on it.
Thank God there are plenty of escape pods. We won't have to dress
something like women and children.
So to do the candy, it's just a little tiny circle in the middle and little bow ties on either side. I'm taking the yellow to fill in the outer twisted edges of the candy wrapper
The important thing is we found you a new man.
and just gently dabbing it into those so I don't go outside the lines, which I do a few times in this video, and I'm sorry. I'm in a rush and I'm kind of nervous, so
I don't feel well. Look, it's our nebula. Whenever I see it, I'll think back to that moment when we almost... never mind. Everyone else is off the ship. We're in Babylon, is Bender.
now I'm taking some blue from the Maniology brand I was talking about, and a little bit of black because I decided I wanted lines in the circle after I was quote-unquote done drawing it. I decided to make some changes. I do this a lot because I just always think of new things as I'm going and trying to add things in. It happens a lot. My Skyrim nails were a mess. I'll upload a video on that too, probably in a couple of days when I feel up to it after having my wisdom teeth out, because I definitely need to do those ones on nail swatched sticks because my nails are not long enough nor wide enough to fit the few Skyrim things that I have done. Like I've painted a character in full nocturnal gear, I've painted the magic symbols for all the classes of magic at the College of Winterhold.
Tragic romances always have a happy ending.
I did the door to the Dark Brotherhood, as well as the note you receive with like that creepy handprint. Don't we know what you did? Kind of note. So those will be coming. Definitely. In the near future, probably this week. I'm in quarantine. What else am I gonna do? So I'm taking that blue from Maniology and some of that yellow and just making a swirly, spirally, whatever pattern on the inside of the candy. And it looked pretty good to me, so I was like, yeah, you know, whatever. Let's make and do with what I've got. I've got a limited amount of colors too. Most of the time when I'm doing my nail arts, I am at the school that I work at, and they have ample supplies, more nail polishes than I do. So the next one I dip into is a stencil for Flame Princess, because she's one of my favorite princesses in the entire show. And it took me actually twice to get a clean stamp on her. If you have to redo your stamp if it doesn't come out right the first time, it's best to take some acetone on a facial cotton round, because they don't leave behind as much lint as other cotton rounds do, and just wipe clean your stamper, wipe clean the stamping plate, and make sure there's no residue in the stamping plate stencil, and just redo it. It takes just a couple of seconds. Don't be afraid to have to redo things. I have to all the time. I just don't film it. And I'm taking that same yellow I used for Jake, and I'm filling in the parts of her dress that was pretty sure were yellow. It's been a while since I've watched Adventure Time. I'm actually rewatching Futurama right now, and Adventure Time is next on my list. But I just got this stamping plate in last month, and I was very excited to finally use it, because believe it or not a lot of adults coming into a salon to get their nails done want Adventure Time on their nails.
I majored in bending.
Weird, right?
Global American Studies. Are you here to fumigate the moose head? No. Actually, I'm an Epsilon.
Also, I'm sorry if you can hear me swallowing a bunch. I get saliva-y when I talk a lot and when I'm nervous, and anxiety does crazy things to you, man. Learning how to cope. I'm taking some Born Pretty stamping, oh, that's the black that I've been using, by the way, is Born Pretty. But some Born Pretty red stamping polish and mixing it in with the yellow to create...
You're all losers. My name's Bender.
Psych, did I not mix it this time?
Bender from Bending State Bender?
Mixing it is next time, I know what I need to do.
I heard that in one single night you drank a
Taking the red and now filling in parts of her that are red, like the outer parts of her petticoat, the top of her dress, and the bangs around her face are usually very dark,
No, Bender, wait. We're the
and
lamest
the
brat on
jewel
campus.
atop
Even Hillel has
her
better parties than us.
forehead my husband would at me for saying it that way. Forehead.
Okay, but I'll need 10 kegs
I
of
grew up in
beer,
New
a
England,
continuous
guys. I say
enveloping
forehead and
line, and a
orange.
regulation
It's...
two-story penny
I'm
raise
sorry.
ladder. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
If I'm not paying attention, it'll come out that way.
Really takes me back to
My
my
bad.
college days.
Get right up. Who wants to learn physics?
So filling these little guys in on the stamper is a little tedious. It takes some time and a steady hand and a teeny tiny brush, but it's kind of like coloring in a coloring book. It's really satisfying at the end to turn it over and see the finished product. If you want to stamp it on your nail first and then color it in, you have to be a little bit more careful because you can cover up the black lines, but if you do it while it's on the stamper like this, you can cover up the black lines. It's okay because when you flip it over and stamp it on your nail, those black lines will be on the outside. Now I am mixing the two colors, the yellow and the red, to make the orange, because fire is red, yellow, and orange. I don't think Flame Princess ever had any blue in her, even when she went all rage mode in the first episode that we see her in, and she gets all angry that Finn doesn't like her, but then he does, and I'm pretty sure even when she went rage mode, she didn't have any blue. I know real fire has blue, but we're not going for realism, we're going for cartoonism. What can I say?
I'll be there. Please, Fry. I don't know how to teach. I'm a professor. See you in class. Oh.
So we're just filling in any leftover spots now where there would be orange in her dress, in between the reds and yellows. The part of her hair that goes straight up in the air is orange, and I believe I used it on her skin. Or her skin was straight yellow. But see what I mean? When you flip it over, it looks all muddled on the back, but when you flip it back over, all those lines are still there, nice and crisp, and it looks like a coloring book drawing. And the end of her dress did go over my free edge a little bit, because my nails are small, man. I don't have pristine nails. I got professional nail artist hands in water all day, every day, doing pedicures. My nails break easily. Nails, and they're actually longer than they've been in a while because of this quarantine, so bear with me. I can't fit a lot on them.
I understood the word hat. Please stop bickering.
The last one I wanted to do, I wanted to get Finn in there, obviously, because he's the main character, but I also wanted to get Princess Bubblegum in there, and there's this cute image on this stamping plate where it's Finn laying in Princess Bubblegum's lap, and she's got her arm over his shoulder, and they're just being besties like they are. And that is another clip where I had to re-stamp it because for some reason my first stamps today are just not doing it for me. They're turning out real bad, guys.
I have to get back to the one thing that's kept me sane these past 8 years. My muddle ship.
So first things first, I'm taking a little bit of green to color in Finn's backpack. I know that in the show it's a light green on the bottom and a dark green for the flap that comes over the top and buttons shut, but I only have this one green and I didn't feel like mixing it in with black and having that whole struggle because it would have taken a very long time to get the right shade of black, and I have OCD. I really need to have the perfect shade if I'm going to spend that much time and energy on it. And this is already getting to be a really long video, so I didn't want to waste all that time. And then taking Not Milky White, because Finn's shorts and his hat mask is white also. Covers up his gorgeous blonde locks. So I'm painting those couple of things white. His shoes are black and are already colored in by the stencil when you do it because it's just left engraved, and so the black outline fills it in automatically.
Fry, that monkey is my most important experiment. If you two don't stop fighting, I'll have you both neutered.
Man, I need to go get water, something. My throat's drying out. This is a lot of talking without having anything to drink and inhaling acetone fumes.
I'd like you to meet my parents.
I don't know if you've ever walked into a nail salon, but that's basically what my bedroom smells like all the time.
In exchange for your generous
So I'm taking this pinkish peachy from Maniology to do Princess Bubblegum's dress. Couldn't remember if in the show it's lighter or darker than her hair or skin, but I am also using my phone to film this, so I couldn't look up a reference picture while I was in the middle of recording.
What are you doing here?
I'll do better, guys. Listen, I plan on getting a computer here soon, maybe. If I can save up the appropriate amount of money for it. Being out of work is kind of hard on us all, and I know that, and I'm very fortunate to have a husband who is military, and we get VAH money. We also split our bills with my grandparents who live with me, so we only pay about $1,200 a month in rent, and the VA gives us $15. So we put away a lot of that, we pay off credit cards with it, do other things when we set it aside and save it up. And recently we decided that a computer and a workstation is good for me because I've been getting some more followers since my parody video, which was yesterday, Sunday? Is today Tuesday? Today's Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, March 31st. When I'm recording this, maybe when it's going up. I don't know which one I'm going to post today. I guess it depends on which one I like the best. But, yeah. So then I mixed a little bit of the red in with that pale pink, and it made this kind of hot pink. Fun fact, if you want a hot pink and you don't have one, just adding a teeny scotch of red in with a pale pink or a pastel pink will do that for you, because hot pink is more red than lavender, and pink is a mixture of red and lavender in a crazy kind of way. I'm a cosmetologist, and on the color wheel it makes sense, and I'm sorry that it doesn't when I'm saying it out loud. Pink is a mix of, I think, violet, red, and red orange, or violet and red orange, or something like that. It's a weird combination, but it's how we mix hair dyes. And I learned from the John Paul Mitchell systems, their system of color, their color wheel, their cutting system, their cosmetology knowledge system. So if these are phrases that aren't used in other salons or cosmetology settings for hair colors and stuff like that, it's just because I learned differently. I went to a Paul Mitchell school, and this is what we were taught. So I'm taking some of that blue and coloring in Finn's shirt. I think it's a lighter blue than the blue I have, but you work with what you got. Again, social distancing. I can't go shopping, guys. I'm obeying the governor. Taking a smidgen of white. To mix in with some of the pink to make a sort of real light, fleshy tone to color their skin in. And yes, I colored them both the same color. Yes, I know that they're not the same color in the show. Yes, I know Bubblegum is pink and Finn is human tone. I'm sorry. I was being lazy. I just made myself giggle. Hey guys, welcome to my ASMR new art video.
So he just ran away in the middle of the exam?
Realistically sustain this kind of video because I have a lisp. This is very sharp.
Tied with fraud.
Whispering
I
drives
just
me
realized I was
out
right
of
when I
my
told him to go back to the jungle. You what?
I really want to cough, but I'm going to finish this voiceover first.
Brain? Hey, don't blame me. You tried to force
Holy
Butcher to be
moly.
a human, but he's an animal. He belongs in the wild, or in the circus on one of those tiny tricycles.
Way to hide it, girl. You got paint all over your fingers. Everyone saw that. You didn't hide it. I had to put this scene diagonally across my nail because that's the only way I could fit PB and Finn and his cute little like Tootsie pose with his legs up in the air like a girl writing in her diary in some teen TV show. It was very cute. And then after all said and done, I just cleaned up the edges a little bit. Like PB's hair kind of went over onto my cuticle, so did Plain Princess's, and her dress I just kind of scooted underneath my free edge because it didn't fit. It was hanging off the end, and I don't know if I showed me cleaning that up or not, because I was like, nobody knows. Nobody can tell.
I see some movement up there.
Everyone can tell, because she's not as long as she was. Oh, I also goofed up here and showed the Peely base, because it was sitting right next to my extra glossy top coat. And they're both clear, in clear Holo Taco bottles. There we go, fixed myself. This is the extra glossy top coat from Holo Taco. It's one of my favorite top coats that isn't a gel polish, because it is so shiny and it maintains its shine the way gel polish does. And that's just really impressive from a regular nail lacquer. I insist every day how impressed I am with Holo Taco. I bring it with me. I show it to clients. I use the rainbow snow from them on clients sometimes if they want glitter, and I'm like, well, look at this glitter, because this is Holo. And who doesn't like that one? Thanks, guys.